What's going on, everyone? The market was a little bit choppy today, but just like we talked about in yesterday's video, we are set for a crazy week. We have crucial inflation data set to come in 1 hour before the market opens tomorrow. This data moves the market more than any other economic data out there. At the same time, we have Bitcoin blasting all the way up to over $72,000, which is crazy to hear about. And all of this is happening as there is a giant rotation happening behind the scenes with the market. So stick with us all the way to the end of today's video. We have a lot to talk about, and tomorrow is going to be the most important day of the week. So stick with us, and let's get right into it, Tom.
Yeah, today was pretty choppy. I will say this, at open, the market kind of continued on its downwards path from Friday. And at first, it seemed like there was going to be a pretty good sell-off. I know quite a bit of people got into puts there and had some pretty good gains on those at the beginning of the day. But of course, the market turned around. It got a little bit choppy, and we saw that consolidation. Yesterday, I talked about possibly consolidating a little bit after that huge move from Friday. I'm definitely going to be watching these big supports down here for breaks over the next couple days. But Mike, there was a pretty crazy thing. 4 years ago today, the Dow literally fell 10% during COVID. It's its worst day since 1987. I just figured I'd bring this up. You know, sometimes it's cool to talk about market history like that. And as we scroll down, here are some of the worst days in the market ever. And it's just crazy that was, 4 years ago on this exact date.
Yeah, time flew, Tom. I remember when the market was crashing during that COVID crash, and it was one of the craziest times the market has ever seen. But I like this flashback because, it was only 4 years ago. It seems like it was a long time ago, but at the same time, I remember it pretty well.
Yeah, me too. And 4 years seems like a long time, but in the stock market, it's really not. Like, I know a lot of people out there might have only been trading for a couple of years, but whenever you go back to like a SPY weekly chart or something, I mean, we can see over the course of 4 years, the market can have quite a lot of movement. So looking at the market for tomorrow, though, Mike, we had a little bit of consolidation today. The market actually almost got back up into the green around close. Couldn't quite get there. So I'm just going to continue to watch tomorrow and digest what happens off that move from last week. The big thing tomorrow is that CPI inflation data. Everybody's going to be watching this 1 hour before the market opens at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Be careful trading right at open. There's probably going to be a lot of volatility, but be ready to ride the wave, because if there's a huge continuation off this, there can be a lot of opportunities out there.
Yeah, I am pumped for this event. The year-over-year inflation rate is set to come in at 3.1%. Theoretically, if it comes in higher than that, then that would not be a good sign for the market. The inflation data is one of the most important data points for the economy right now. Everyone wants inflation to cool down a bit, and the war against inflation has not been won just yet. One thing that I thought was very interesting heading into today is if we look at the heat map, we can see that we are seeing a dynamic that we have not seen in a very long time. What you'll notice is some of the highest flying stocks in the market, like Meta, Nvidia, LLY, and more, are the ones that are actually leading the market down, while some of these other stocks that have been kind of stuck in the mud lately, like Apple and maybe Google, are starting to rise up a bit. And this is the exact opposite of what we've seen over the past couple months. So that goes to show you right there that, you are seeing a decent amount of money flow out of some of these high-flying stocks. They are up so much over the past couple months, so it shouldn't be too surprising. But given that we're seeing this change, I definitely wanted to point it out because it's something that you definitely should not ignore.
Yeah, and we're still seeing oil stocks do pretty well also. Like that shift is starting to happen in a pretty big way, Mike. And I think over the next few days and next couple weeks, we'll see that shift continue. Hopefully the data tomorrow morning really helps. And I would say, like, if we have a negative reaction to that data, that's going to really help snowball things here in the short term. And we might continue to see these good percentages to the downside. I know tomorrow there's going to be a bunch of different stocks on watch, like SQQQ, UVXY, and then I'm sure a lot of people are getting ready to trade puts on SPY and QQQ as well, given all this downwards price action lately. But of course, the data tomorrow is going to dictate that, so don't get too stuck in one direction. But it's going to be a big day, Mike, and I really hope that a lot of people out there are ready for it.
Yeah, it's a great time to be a trader, be adaptable, and follow the money. But we still have more to talk about with some recent market events, and that is Bitcoin. So, surprise, surprise, it just keeps on blasting. It got above the $72,000 level today. It is running in a pretty crazy way. Again, make sure to keep a very close eye on some of these cryptocurrency-related stocks like Coinbase, maybe Mara, Riot, stocks like that. They are extra volatile in this time, given how much Bitcoin has been swinging in both directions. So just keep a close eye on them. Obviously, as Bitcoin just rockets to the upside, that makes it easier to play, cryptocurrency related stocks in a bullish way. But at the same time, just like we talked about with some of these high flying big tech stocks like Meta and Nvidia, eventually the tide does turn, and there are opportunities to play the moves to the downside as well. But the main thing is there's a lot of money flowing in the cryptocurrency area of the market right now, so keep a close eye on it.
Yeah, it was crazy. Bitcoin was really blasting off today, Mike, and a few of those crypto stocks today, like whether it's Coinbase or Mara, they were down quite a bit. Coinbase was almost down 1%. Mara actually ended up down 12% today after gapping up a ton early on in the morning. It's not like we saw Bitcoin, explode back down or anything, so be a little careful with those stocks. They're kind of volatile. If you want something that follows Bitcoin more like one-to-one, look at IBIT. It's a good ETF. It's one of the new Bitcoin ETFs out there, and there's not options on it yet, which kind of sucks. But hey, whenever you're getting 4% moves in a day, it's still not too bad.
Exactly, right? If Bitcoin wasn't moving too much, it would be a different story. But like you said, it's so volatile where it's like the opportunity is still there. So love to hear that. And Tom, while earnings season has mostly winded down, what else do we have on the schedule for this week?
Yeah, tomorrow we actually have Workhorse or Donkey Horse for everybody out there who's been watching the channel and has been in the chat for a long time now. Cornish with Donkey Horse there. So in after hours, there's Funware, ticker symbol PHUN, Clover Health. I don't really see too much going on for the rest of the week, Mike. Thursday is a pretty big day though. We have Adobe, Dick's Sporting Goods, Blink, Charging. So quite a bit there, but I would say earnings season's definitely starting to wind down quite a bit. The main thing tomorrow is that inflation data.
Yeah, it's kind of a dead earnings week, which isn't a bad thing because the inflation data will definitely bring in a lot of extra volatility, and you can't forget about the interesting and opportunity-filled price action with some of these big tech stocks. But Tom, let's get right into the good stuff for today, which are some setups and predictions for tomorrow. One stock I'm watching very closely right now is UVXY to the upside. Now, the thing is with this one is it moves to the upside in a big way when there's panic selling in the market. If we're not seeing true panic selling and fear increasing in the market, then this stock is not worth trading. We want to see the market selling off in a major way in order to justify playing this one to the upside. So I'm watching it to the upside tomorrow, but do not just blindly jump into it. You have to see the sell-off actually start, before you trade a stock like this one.
Yeah, and it's a big stock. I love watching this one, Mike. I would have had it on here, but you've been calling it out every night, so I have to give it to you again. I love UVXY though. It's one of my favorites out there. As a side note, I'll say SQQQ could be a good way to go too, especially with tech stocks falling. With my first play tomorrow, I'm looking at mRNA to the upside. It's up 8.69% today. This is a bit of an outlier. I usually don't call out healthcare stocks like this, but it broke above 100 on Friday. Today continued up, had a great momentum-filled run. So I'm going to keep watching this one to the upside. We go to the daily. It's getting close to resistance. If it starts to break like 115, I will look at calls.
All right, sounds great. Another stock I'm watching pretty closely right now is Zoom to the upside. So this one has been holding up pretty strongly ever since it reported earnings. The stock has just been getting pounded ever since the end of 2020 or so, and it's starting to see a little bit of daylight, believe it or not. But either way, it had a pretty good day today, even though the market didn't really move too much. So I am going to watch this one for potential continued strength. I would love to see a breakout above like $70 and like 35 cents. If we could see that with some good price action, I will definitely watch this one to the upside.
Yeah, nice break tomorrow above that high around 735, 740 would be very, very nice. With my next play, I'm looking at Boeing, and we actually looked at this one quite a bit last week around this key $200 support. We looked at it on Bookmap a ton of times and ended up breaking down below there on Friday. We were eyeing up like 196, 197 heading into this morning, broke below it very well, retested off, and then ended up running all the way down to 190. So great move down today by Boeing. The Surge bot even killed it on the Boeing move to the downside today. So shout out to the Surge bot and everybody who checks that out. But Mike, looking at Boeing for tomorrow, I am looking at the book map again. There's a key support at 190. That's literally right around where it bounced today. If we end up breaking below there, I'm going to look at more puts. This is kind of like the $200 level, not as huge, not as meaningful, but still a lot of buyers sitting there. So if that breaks tomorrow, I will continue to look at Boeing down. They've had a lot of bad news, like doors flying off, landing gear problems. Like, I mean, how much worse can it get now?
It seems like every day when I check the news on Boeing, the news just gets worse and worse and worse. So yeah, keep a close eye on this one. And you guys have seen Tom just crush it with Bookmap and Boeing. So if you guys have not already tried out Bookmap, you have to try it out at least for a month. It's awesome. They have more add-ons than I can count. You can see exactly where the buyers and sellers are for basically any stock, and it's the real deal. So if you haven't already tried out Bookmap somehow, definitely check out the first link in the description in the comments down below. Stocked Up viewers do get a discount if you use that link below. It's awesome. You have to try it out at least for a month. But Tom, let's get right into today's momentum plays. And with the first one, we have Meta again to the downside. And we talked about this one in last night's video as well.
Oh my gosh, Mike. Meta opened up this morning and said, see you later. That was one hell of a drop. If they end up falling under 476 tomorrow, right at that low of day, then look at more puts. That was an insane run.
All right, with the next one, we have Alibaba to the upside, which is surprisingly showing some bullish price action.
Yeah, the China stocks were coming back today pretty well. If they can get back above $75.50, then I will go ahead and look at calls.
All right, and then with the last one, we have TLT for both directions as we have that crucial inflation data set to release. So this one will move a lot based off the inflation data.
Yeah, we were watching this 95.50 support quite a bit. Ended up kind of bouncing right around there today. If it ends up breaking under 95.35 tomorrow, then eye up some puts. If it breaks back above 95.90, then go ahead and look at calls just above that 95.85 resistance.
Perfect. So we have the upside level for calls and we have the downside level for puts with TLT. Keep a close eye on this one. And then don't forget about the upside level with Alibaba and then the downside level with Meta. These three stocks are on watch for potential day trades tomorrow. Only if they break through the levels Tom listed. If they do not break the levels, then do not trade the setups. We're looking for a strong, powerful, and consistent movement. And if it's not there, then don't force a bad setup. But we can't go any further, Tom, until we dive deep into today's $1 million big money trade of the day. And we are looking at ticker symbol GOLD. We've been talking about gold prices and gold mining companies in a bullish way for at least a week now. And they've been moving to the upside in a very great way. So those plays have all been working out perfectly. And we have another big money trade here. So the big money put a little bit over $1 million into the GOLD 17 strike call options that expire on May 17th of 2024. So these call options have some time to them. They're a little bit far out of the money, but nothing too crazy. Overall, I think it definitely presents a good risk reward. And obviously, gold mining companies have a lot to gain from gold prices moving the way that they have been recently. Gold prices are at all-time highs, and they are moving in a pretty momentum-filled way. So it's an exciting time to be a gold mining company. So keep a close eye on GOLD to the upside in the short term. The big money is pretty bullish.
Yeah, and just remember, guys, this is actually Barrick Gold. If you're on TradingView, be a little careful. If you type in GOLD, it actually kind of comes up with these CFDs. Make sure you actually go and click on Barrick Gold so you're not confused. But yeah, Mike, I really like this play at the end of the day. Whenever we're looking at gold in the short term, it's been flying up a ton. A lot of these big money plays have been starting to pop off on some of these gold plays too. So I like this quite a bit. You can look at GOLD, you can look at GLD, anything. A lot of these gold stocks and just the ETFs in general have recently had pretty good movement off of good support. So I'm really glad to see GOLD coming back. I think we could break above like 1610 in the short term and start to see a bigger run up. There's almost like a gap here, Mike, between like 1640 and like 1750 right here. You know, we had that one really bad day where gold collapsed, but I think we'll be filling that gap pretty soon.
Yeah, we shall see. I think the biggest risk with this one is just how far out of the money the option is. It isn't too far out of the money, but the 17 strike is a little bit far away, so just be aware of that. But when it comes to precious metals, keep a close eye on GLD, SLV. You can watch GDX. Of course, we have GOLD, and there's also like NEM. All of these stocks and ETFs move in pretty good ways. And again, we've been talking about them nonstop, and they have been moving pretty nicely. I wouldn't be all that surprised if they pulled back a little bit in the short term, just given how much they are up literally over the past week. But keep a close eye on them nonetheless. And Tom, going into tomorrow, I'm pumped up. We have crucial inflation data. We have the biggest stocks in the market kind of moving in some weird ways, which is a good thing. So I'm pretty excited.
Me too. I mean, we're starting to see some good volatility. Also, like UVXY might not have done great today, but, you know, looking at it for tomorrow, if that inflation data comes in south, I think it'll be a great short-term opportunity. If we go to the VIX, it actually had a pretty good gap up this morning. Overall, was up green 3.2%. So I'll keep looking at the market in the short term for continued pullbacks. But, of course, that data tomorrow is going to dictate everything. So, you know, continue to be adaptable. Watch the SPY for some key levels. There's a big overhead resistance around 511. I really like this 508.50 and then 507 support if you guys are looking for some specific levels.
And then, as usual, keep a very close eye on some of these crazy big tech stocks like NVIDIA, SMCI, and others, because they have quite literally been carrying the market over the past couple of months. So, you know, if they have big moves in either direction, that will have a very big and direct influence, not only on the market, but maybe even more importantly, the sentiment associated with the market. So keep a very close eye on them. If you guys are new to the channel and you like our videos, consider demolishing that subscribe button. If you do, you'll see our videos recommended to you more often. We post brand new videos all the time. In every single video, we cover predictions, important news, important earnings, charts you won't find anywhere else, and we try to get all of it covered in a 20 to 25 minute video or less. So consider joining the Stocked Up crew. And again, if for some reason you haven't used Bookmap already, you can use it with a discount using the first link in the description in the comments down below. If you use that link, you will get access to a special offer, and that is where the savings are at. But besides that, thank you all so much for watching, and let's crush it in the market tomorrow.